Did we survive Novi? I can't remember. It was so long ago.
We did. Nothing happened.
Can't just say that. Gotta make it exciting. Give me a recap. What happened? What did we say to people on the end of the last episode? I can't even remember what weaponry we went in with.
It's a hard one. But it is... We don't remember exactly because nothing happened.
Okay.
We went into Novi. We just went out of there and we logged out again.
Okay.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Altarcast episode 6. I am René,
I'm
BarelyInfected, and now it's your turn.
Hi everybody, this is FT from FT, Super FT LOL.
On
Right,
YouTube
okay.
and Twitch.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, there's zombies locked in my house. I'm out of here. Just been telling René that I've spawned in on a fresh character and it's all kicking off in Electro.
Yeah, you saw Gilly and you didn't like
Yeah,
him.
guy with a ghillie. No. Well, you told me I should go up to him and tell him it looks shit, but I didn't want to do that.
Well, I think you gotta be honest to people.
Yeah, but there's honesty in the stupidity, isn't there?
I guess so.
But I do need to get a spawn further north, so I might have to go and tell him how silly he looks. So yeah, he hasn't sprayed it, so he looks like it looks like all the grass has died on it, and it's gone all sort of pale.
Mm-hmm. There's a
He
new
hasn't
Gilly
sprayed it
suit in since 0.62. So
Mhm.
because we haven't we haven't done an Altarcast since 0.62, and we have been talking so much about it, but now we're actually playing it, right? So
Yeah,
we'll
we
talk
are.
about that a little later, I guess.
You jumping the gun here. You getting ahead. You write the notes, Ronnie. You should know which order we're going in. First of all, we do the recaps. We don't. What's the word we don't use?
Reactions.
Reactions. Yeah, reactions with René.
Now you made it a meme.
Not doing those. Go on.
Okay.
What's the first reaction? René's reaction number 1.
No, we're gonna skip it now. I don't like it anymore.
Okay.
The first comment is... Wait up, there's a guy in front of me. Hello. I just killed one guy, and one is unconscious. I tied him up.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. They had also human meat on them.
You've got to ask yourself, René, is that life worth saving?
No. Okay, he's dead. He didn't talk to me anymore.
I'm now in Berezino. I slipped off the roof of the fire station.
On purpose?
Oh, no, not on purpose, René. Of course not. I wouldn't kill myself just to try and get spawn closer to you. It was 100% an accident, definitely.
Right. So, based on this little encounter I just had, so what happened is that I basically already told you there were some guy, and he was raising his melee weapon at me. He wasn't so dangerous. He kept his distance, but I still didn't trust him. Suddenly, when his friends came by, he started aiming his pistol, which he didn't have in his hands before, at me. I think he failed to understand. Well, he failed to shoot the gun. Let's say it like that. So I fought them and I won with my pickaxe. And after that, one died, and the other one I tied him up, and I bandaged him. And when he woke up, he started breaking out, and he didn't talk to me anymore. And they were talking to me before. So I always think that's a little bit of a cop out, right?
At the point where they're restrained, really, you've got to, as the person that has been restrained, you've really got to accept that the fight has been lost, and you carry on from there, or you just do what he did and try and break out and just close communications. But if he's going to do that, then that's the end of that life, the end of the interaction. Job done. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even got as far as him being restrained if they'd attacked me. They'd both be dead. Well, they'd be dead or I'd be dead.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting in the... Well, we were streaming the other night, I believe. You had a firefight near Mishkino, remember?
Mm.
And you won the fight, but the guy was unconscious, so I decided to tie him up.
Oh, right,
And
yeah.
in the end, he was talking to us, but I basically made the call for you. Maybe that wasn't so nice of me, but I made the call for you to let him live, and to just to just leave him behind. We took most of his stuff. He still had a gun in his hands, but we backed off far away enough. It was a little risk, I think, but I still think it was good, and I think some of the reactions in your chat were also positive on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I would have done playing as a solo player, as I said at the time, but I don't mind under those circumstances to let someone live if that's what the person I'm playing with wants to do. Usually, if someone has instigated a fight and opened up on me and shot at me, then that's good enough reason for me to kill them.
Yeah.
Even if I've won the fight and they've gone unconscious, they'll get a bullet in the head. But it does offer the possibilities for an extra level of interaction within it brings a bit more depth to the encounter if you do decide to speak to them. But as it happened in this case, the scenario you're talking about, the guy pretended he couldn't speak English and got out of it that way. But we didn't really fully understand that until afterwards, and looking at the situation from a little bit later on, we actually thought to ourselves, I think we've just been taken a little bit there. But as you say, he got away, but he didn't get away with anything more than his life. We took all his ammo. I hid 2 of his guns in a tree miles away. So he was in Mishkino, but that's all he had. He only had the map and his life, his map position and his life. That's all he had.
Yeah, he had to rebuild, so it certainly gave him more depth in his life, I guess.
I should think he had to regen all his health as well, because he would have been in a right old state.
Yeah. He didn't wake up from himself, I believe. We had to, how do you call it again?
Resuscitate.
Resuscitate him, yeah. Yeah, so that was that. We didn't even do the reaction chat.
No, we're not calling them that though, are we?
No, we were calling them comments. So, Jay, this isn't a question. This is just a nice comment I wanted to highlight. So Jay says, "Hey guys, I started playing DayZ. Your podcast is really great, helping me have a good understanding of where DayZ has been and where it's going. I look forward to more. And also, what server are you guys on? I'm from the UK, so I'm guessing I can jump on the same server as you all, time-wise."
That's very nice, isn't it?
I thought that was, yeah. I really enjoyed reading that. And for your question, which server are we on? I think we can say that we're mostly on different servers. We always try to go on high populated servers. Personally, I'm often to be found on the DayZ Underground servers, both EU and US. And for the rest, it's pretty random, always high populated servers. When I play solo, I usually try to go in a first-person server. And when playing with FT, we usually try private, high populated third-person servers. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, not really. I mean, I just usually I put third person into the filter, official servers and private. That's and then it's got to be. I always join a server that's full. So I'll join a server because it's a little bit difficult with the way the server works at the moment, unless you use an external somewhere like DayZ Spy, where you can find out the exact number of people that are on a server. It's a bit difficult to so it could be showing as high and only have 40 players on. And for me, I prefer to play on a server that's very close to 60. So to guarantee that, I'll join a full server only.
So the next comment is from Koo, and he actually sent us an email. He says, "I'm a fan of your podcast. I always listen to them during my night shifts. And my question regarding DayZ 0.62 and experimental is, I like the sound changes as well as the visual ones, but the loot is horrible. I traveled the map for hours, 3 valleys to Crescino, without finding any gun I found ammo for. Do you think it's intended that way, and do you agree with the developers in that regard? Also, what's your opinion on much less people coming back to 0.62 than there were for 0.61? And he's looking forward to the next podcast.
I don't think they've changed the central loot economy. I think you've perhaps been unfortunate with the servers or the loot paths that you're taking, but I often say this to people: if they're struggling with loot, then you just hit a few houses inside a town, and if you get a pretty good feel as to whether or not it's worth sticking there, and if you're not finding anything in maybe 6, 7, 8 houses, then just skip the town, move to the next town.
Yeah, I agree on that.
But I'm in BarelyInfected here, which is a coastal town, and I've just said that I've just picked up an IZH here, a 1911 with a mag and 4 rounds. We've been playing 10 minutes maybe. I've got 23 9mm rounds, 3 items of food. The only thing I haven't got is a stone knife, because they've changed some of the textures, and it's more difficult to actually find a stone knife now. But that's something that's not related to the question. That's related to 0.62. But I think it maybe was he's just unfortunate on his initial playthrough on that server.
Yeah, I think so too. And also you gotta know where to look, right? You gotta, if you play enough, I think you will find out at some point how the loot is distributed and how exactly it works. Some houses, they have little loot in them at the moment. Other houses are better for guns, for example, and you gotta find that out. For example, you gotta look in the clothing, because loot is always hidden in the clothing, and if you find a lot of the clothing empty, it means that someone just took the stuff out of the clothing, so there's less for you, right? That's why you're only finding clothing. But you really need to look into those things, and if you feel like the town has been looted, skip it, go to the next town. And maybe not the most popular town, but go to a less popular town. So you said you went to Grishino. If you've been to Stari and Novi, those are very well-traveled areas. So the chance of you finding anything there compared to a less looted town, for example, let's say a town, Kamenka, for example, you will find a lot more in Kamenka because it's less traveled, and that's also how you gotta think about your tactic of looting, basically, and your movement around the map.
I think it's quite important to mention that about the clothing. It does sound like quite a simple thing, and someone asked me the question on a stream saying they're just not finding any loot, and that they've gone in, all they're finding is clothing. And I was looting through a town, and I said, well, make sure that when you're going into the town, you're being thorough. Check every little corner of a house. Use the inventory search for looking for loot, and make sure you're checking in all the clothing. More as an afterthought, I said that, and the person replied by saying, "What stuff actually spawns in clothing?" So you kind of take it for granted that people know this, and I think Koho would know this, but it may be of use to others. So
yeah. A third comment comes from Tic Tactical. Why doesn't FT want to use Frankie as an example? I think that's a good question.
Is that one for me?
Yes. Well, I can answer it for you, but I think you want to take this one yourself.
What's the reference? Give me some context. Is that an example of what?
Well, last episode, I think you said, I've mentioned Frankie 3 times now. I'm going to shut up about him now.
I think he's got enough coverage, hasn't he? He doesn't need me. He doesn't need me on our little Altarcast giving him promotion. There might be he might have gained 5 subscribers just from Altarcast. That's where I think I was aiming with that particular thing. Just
Well, you asked me to name another big YouTuber, and you, I named Czech Frags, which is also very big.
Yeah, I don't know.
No specific reason.
No specific reason. I mean, I used to really enjoy watching his early stuff. In fact, if the danger with answering this question is we're going to end up doing what I didn't want to do anyway. So I've given my answer. So let's have the next question.
Maybe that's what Tic Tactical was referring at. Are you on a dirt road? Is it you? Yeah, it's you. Damn it. I was scared. I was in an animation and suddenly FT comes running into my house. I heard him breathing. So it said hello. And if the suddenly answered with a female voice, I don't know what that's all about, but I like how you're sitting on that pile of garbage.
Yeah, well, I can just go prone, and I can just look like a pile of... Oh, I can't.
Here is the gun. One
There
loot
you go.
stack of ammo, one box stack of ammo, and the pistol with the mag itself. I didn't reload it yet, so you might have to do that.
It's a lot of instructions. Can you see me?
Yes, you look like garbage.
Okay.
What is the guy?
It's knocked me
Oh, he's-
unconscious.
Yeah, he's dead.
You see, the only reason he found me was because I had to stand up. Bastard just came and sparkoed me while I was eating my apple.
I already killed 3 people.
I thought it was you that knocked me unconscious. There was the gunshot sound, and then that was it. I was unconscious. What's his name? Thank you for bringing me around.
No worries. It said arrow no unit has no bells, so
I restarted
know.
his game pretty quickly then.
I think so.
Do you need any food?
No, I'm pretty good actually, for now. I think we should get out of here. You should pick up the stuff. Yeah, so, but I guess we can move on to the next topic, which is the much-awaited topic, 0.62.
Yeah, they got rid of the black face, but now look at my face. I'm grey. This is actually the first time I've had the grey face bug.
Well, it's not happening as often anymore, right?
Well, it can't be because I must have put 100 hours maybe into 0.62, and this is the first time I've seen it. But yeah, I mean, it's such a small thing to mention when the enormity of the patch is what it is. I have started it off with a negative.
With something negative.
Look at these lovely red flowers on the ground.
Yeah, let me
think they're
take a
wonderful.
screenshot for you.
It's altered the way the game feels, I won't say the way the game plays, but the whole, it's such an overused word, but the immersion of the game.
Yeah.
The update to the 0.62, the graphical update. I mean, to say there was just a very small group of programmers working on this update. Is it the guy that works on, that did Namalsk? Sumrak.
Yeah.
He's one of the team, I believe.
Yeah, he's one of the team.
One of a small number. What, 4 or 5 people, or is it even less than that?
Yes, 4 or 5 people. You said they have been like working hard to implement it, and I don't want to like diminish their work, but obviously the models, they have been made like probably like a longer time ago, and they were just kind of ready to implement it at this time, right? They have obviously working longer on it than just 2 months or so it took.
But still, if someone had gave me every single asset that has been updated and improved in this game and asked me to make this map like this, I'd want 5 years. I wouldn't want, and it's not been 2 months. It's been longer than that because, of course, 0.61 came out more or less the turn of the year.
In December, yeah.
So it's probably more like 5 or 6 months, and they were probably working on these assets prior to that as well. So
yeah, that's what I mean. And obviously the rest of the team is working on 0.63, which we will talk about later.
But the placement of all the, I mean, you can still, like, we're quite close to Krasnostav here, just approaching from the east. I've got the northeast airfield to my right, and then very noticeable is the big hill to the right of Krasnostav, which is to the north of it. Very noticeable, very distinguishable, but you move to somewhere like the west side of the map, and I can get lost 2,500 hours into the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've changed it, right?
Yeah, well, they've changed it to a degree where you just have to point yourself in a direction and trust to the fact that you know that's the way that you've got to go. There's no landmarks that help you until you start relearning that part of the map. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just to quickly recap, I think everyone knows, but for the ones who don't, newer trees have been added, denser forests, new grass that actually moves in the wind, new ambient sounds that, and actually also the wind effects and the sounds, like it can be stormy or the wind can be quieter, and it's actually, like FT said, and like we just described, it's very immersive, became a very immersive game overnight, and it feels like it feels really fresh. So it's really enjoyable to play again.
But the ghillie suit, that doesn't move in the wind because that's tied to the old shit, not the new shit.
What are you
That's
referring to, FT?
I had something I wanted to come in with then, and I can't remember what the hell it is or was. So
Well, the ghillie suit is new.
yes, the ghillie suit
Maybe.
is new, but the reason that doesn't move is because it's part of the legacy engine, and all this new stuff we're seeing is not.
Well, we still have the old player character and the new one.
The player
I
control,
don't
yeah,
know. I don't
but
know if the ghillie suit will ever move in the future. I hope it will, obviously.
yeah, it should do because that will be they'll be able to write it so that it does. But yeah, one thing that we didn't mention within that, so if you light a fire, the smoke that comes from the fire, the smoke that comes out of a heli crash, it's
Yeah.
all tied to the direction that the wind's blowing at the time. So it's responsive. It feels more responsive and how it should feel rather than
Hmm.
just a channel of smoke going up in the air.
Yeah. Same with smoke grenades and that kind of stuff. I found the
And the player's
orange
breath.
and the player's breath. I didn't know that, by the way.
Hmm.
And many birds.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, yeah, that's there is a little bird and that makes that specific sound. I actually saw Deadly Slop. He was tweeting a screenshot of him googling cheeseburger bird, and it came up with a result.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's funny. I didn't actually know about it until you said it to me. And when you said it to me, I actually just heard that specific bird sound in the ambient sounds. And I immediately knew what you meant for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it's so alike.
yeah. You did a perfect rendition of it after I'd said it. You said,
Yeah.
is it this bird? And then I heard the noise, and I had to look across at my second monitor to see if you were transmitting because it was almost bang on. It was slightly out, but
Yeah,
I thought you'd got some sort of soundboard. I did. I thought you was tricking me.
yeah. Well, I wasn't. Well, I was tricking you, but I didn't mean to do it. So, so besides the visuals of 0.62 and how immersive it feels, and have you had like any special encounters where you really thought like, wow, this new patch is awesome, regarding like the new weather system or something like that?
I think initially because the experimental servers were working on a accelerated time schedule, so you've got I don't know exactly know what the times were, but it was perhaps an hour and a half day, and the same at night.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps a little less than that. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but that is kind of irrelevant. What it led to, it is, but it is and it isn't. What it led to was more night play, essentially, because
Yeah.
as soon as it hits stable, people, the server owners, the admins of the servers are responsible for doing the time schedules and whether or not servers stay daylight 24/7 or whether or not you have some form of day night cycle. So whilst Bohemia are in control of that, they can govern it as they see fit, and that's what led to way more nighttime play. Specifically, you asked whether or not there was something that stood out. I had an encounter with my mate Bry. He said I could call him that as long as he called me Stu or Stu. So Bry, this one's for you. I know you don't watch anyway. I could say anything. I could call him I could call him anything. Brian Hicks, creative director of DayZ.
You're naming him for 30 seconds now. Should I cut that out?
No.
Okay.
We've got to big it up. I mean, this if if you've got a celebrity amongst your midst, then you've got to shout it from the highest rooftops.
That's true.
So Hicks underscore 206. That's his Twitch handle. His Steam. No, I'll stop now. Anyway, I was playing with him. When a new experimental comes out, Brian does like to get in there amongst the player base and get a feel for how the game's playing, which I think is wonderful. And he stalked me. He asked me if I would join him, and I agreed. And then as we met up, he fed me some human meat, which was not so marvelous. But the encounter that led on from that was we were in a house and there was a firefight going off in the distance, pitch black, middle of the night, and It was very atmospheric. Done on direct chat only. We were not talking on TeamSpeak. We're both sat in this house. I wouldn't say genuinely scared, but you know, the tension was building and the firefight was happening, and then it died down. And the next thing I know is the gunshot sound going off in my ear just to my right, and I thought, oh shit, Brian's dead. Turned around and Brian had executed someone that had come through the door he was covering, and he hadn't executed him actually. He'd knocked him unconscious. Took all his gear off him. As we were stripping the guy of his gear, another shot rang out from 400-500 meters away off a sniper hill and took Brian in his leg, and he limped off into the forest, and I could not see where he'd gone. It was so dark and so black, and we ran off, and I got a message to me to say that he'd gone past some wolves. Then I heard these wolves howling, so I knew I was on the right track. But yeah, it was that was a standout moment for me.
That sounds awesome. I actually saw it, and it's a great encounter. You made a video about it, right?
Yeah. I made my first look on .62 was included within it.
Oh, cool. We'll make sure I'll link it in the description.
Cool. And your standout moment. You got to have one, René.
Oh yeah, that's true. I almost thought I could skip it. No, my standout moment is probably, I don't know if it's yeah, well, it is related to the patch, because I made a video as well about it. Also my first video of .62, and it was about, I met a group called the Green Mountain Nomads, and I actually met one of them before. So it was pretty interesting, and I rolled with them all the way to the new castle. And the new castle,
I feel you've got to say how many people were in this group.
yeah, like 7 or something. It was like a crazy amount. So and I rolled up on them basically. Obviously I didn't know I was friendly, and I met another guy in the game, and we I asked him to shoot them if they would attack me if I would approach them. But
so there was these 7 people on a road near a bus, and you'd spotted them from a distance, and you said to your new friend that you just met not long back, you've got the sniper rifle, I'll approach. If you see that I'm in trouble, then, shoot.
Yes, that's exactly how it went. And I approached them, but they seemed like a happy bunch. So I approached them, and I think they all knew me because they shouted my name out as soon as I announced who I was. So it was pretty epic, actually. But I was pretty scared at that moment. But I also felt confident at the same time that these guys would be friendly, because you can often see it in their behavior. They were like eating apples and just standing there, but you never know, especially if they randomly met up, because that's what I thought when they were at the bus, that they were all randoms, and randoms are a little bit hard to control. And it ended up that some of them were randoms, but the most of them were actually in the group. That was, I guess, a little bit more stable situation for me. And we traveled.
See, up till now, this is not a .62 story, but this is where it becomes a .62 story, right?
Yes.
Although it happened on a .6, I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to.
Well, it's still DayZ.
Find holes.
No,
but you said it was .62, a standout moment on .62.
Yeah.
I know you're going to come to it, but I just feel that people might be sat there in their armchair, shaking their heads, going, "René, what the fuck has this got to do with .62?" But you're going to get there. So if you'd be there already, actually, if I hadn't interrupted. My apologies. Carry on.
Well, I guess you felt the need to highlight it.
Yeah. I feel that perhaps maybe no one would have noticed if I hadn't said anything. So I feel a bit bad now. But go on, carry on.
It's fine. So we traveled towards the west side, all the way the west side of Miskino, like also in the dark, and all of us had like torches on the road. It was very atmospheric. I think that's one of my favorite like moments in DayZ, just us walking towards the west of the map over dirt roads, in between the bushes, trees in the middle of the road. Being lost, we were looking for the log cabin that's all the way up the hill west of Miskino. And when we finally arrived there, we actually lit up the house with torches as well, and we told some ghost stories, which I wasn't particularly good at, to be honest. But it was.
You threw a flashbang, didn't you?
I did throw a flashbang. Yeah, I learned it from the best. And in the end, we went on to the castle to speed this a little bit up. And in the end, I had to go. It was so late. We played for so long. And
So late now for everyone watching this Altarcast. They're thinking to themselves, bloody hell, wish this story would finish.
That's true.
The moment it sounds like a massive, great big not interview, a great big advertisement for your YouTube channel and your journey video. You get enough views from it. It's like your most popular video of the year. Come on, René.
That's true, but you keep interrupting me. I want to go to the end so fast, but...
So you went to the castle, and then what happened?
Well, I had to say goodbye. I exited the castle, and at some point I heard like a lot of shots behind me. So I looked with my binoculars, like from 600 meters distance or something, up to the castle wall. And I saw them all looking towards my direction. And I was at the railroad track to the north. And I waved at them. And I looked again at my binoculars. And they were all like wiggling from side to side. And that was, I don't know, it was such like, I don't know. It was an awesome moment.
It was a real feel-good moment of the video, I must admit. I was expecting. I think, I don't know if I said it to you or not. I may have even just thought it, but I suggested you put a gunshot sound in a "You Are Dead" screen just as you're looking up, just to do like a non-Hollywood ending for the video. But
no,
it had a real good feel to it anyway. So.
Well, all my videos already have like "You're Dead" endings, so I guess
right.
A good call. But that is my my greatest adventure of 0.62. And also I participated, well, I have to add this, I guess, to the Castle event of the release. And that was pretty cool as well. It was very late notice. You couldn't make it. I
didn't get invited.
Sad to say. Well, I invited you. I'm one of the devs.
Oh, in your official capacity, you're going to say in your official capacity working for Bohemia, you invited me. No, there's some sort of issue with my email address that I perhaps should sort out. But there we go.
Okay.
Are you making a video on that?
Yes, I will. I will. It's going to be my next video.
You see, if the video had been out, you'd have gone on about that forever. You just sort of skirted over it. Oh, there was this event, and I've got no video to promote, so we won't talk about that.
Oh, that's not.
I can't make a video. I can't. I didn't get. I wasn't there. I was working hard. Real life.
Yeah,
work.
yeah, I know. It was a little bit inconvenient. I barely could make it myself, to be honest.
It was a really, really strange time.
Yeah, it was at the end of their working day, I believe. So I guess it makes sense for for them, so that they don't have to go like overwork too much. Well, they already did anyway with doing that. No one likes to work late, so I guess they try to minimize the effect of it, I guess.
You say no one likes to work late, right? And I'm going to bring up that particular play session I had with Brian, and I don't know how much whether or not this is true. It can't be true actually, because he'd had a couple of sherbets. He'd been on the whiskey, and as we were approaching a crash site, I suggested that he didn't go to it, and he wanted to go to it. And I said, well, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm going to go to the gunshot sounds. And he turned to me and said, I want you to know that if I die here, I'm going to go home a salty person, or something like that. It's suggesting that he was still in the office. And it was 4 a.m. for me. So I don't know if he plays from the office some of the time.
Well, I know he does. Well, I know he did. I've played with him a couple of times, and he often plays from the office. He's really committed to DayZ, so he's often working late and watching all the streams and that kind of stuff. So I guess he just moves from work to enjoyment and combining it, I guess. So
Fair enough.
It's awesome that he plays a lot with everyone, with a lot of the other content creators like us, but not solely us, also a lot of other people.
Yeah, he gets about and plays with quite a number. It's it's quite refreshing.
That's
Altar there.
Like it's destined to be.
I think we should go up there. We'll go to Gorka afterwards, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Or do you want to go Gorka first?
No, it's good. I think there's a deer stand here though, so let's check it. You also brought a topic to the table.
You say that with such surprise in your voice, René.
Well, last time, often you're pleased with the topics, and now you added one. Often you add on the fly, but then this time you send it to me in preparation. So
I did.
Yeah.
It was a Twitter DM.
That's true.
Yeah, my topic that I suggested we could perhaps discuss for a little bit of time was Boydy.
Boydy. Who's Boydy?
Our man Boydy. He's an Australian. That was my accent. That was my Aussie accent. YouTube content creator and general pillar of the community. He's a top dude. Really is.
I really agree with that. Yeah. He is very supportive towards all the other content creators, and he's very enthusiastic about the game. He started his own series on YouTube, which is called.
Is that where I'm supposed to come in? Spotlight.
Oh yeah, creator spotlight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on,
creator
René.
spotlight. I sorry, I just
So
got
we're
blank for me.
spotlighting the spotlighter.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And he has interviewed a lot of people already. Silo, Toprak. I think he is going to come out with the Running Mans.
Any René reactions on that?
Any René reactions? Yeah, I actually really enjoy it. It's like in podcast format. So it's like.
Is it available through the usual podcast outlets then, or is it just a YouTube thing?
I don't think so.
I think he's been asked that question. Put it on a podcast because it is quite long. That's for a YouTube audience. I mean, the video that I hate self-promotion time. The video that I put out before the latest one, that was the 0.62 first look video, was 50 minutes long, 50 plus. I don't know how many exactly, and the audience retention on it's 33%, which is actually quite good. It's a third of the video was watched by all the people that have watched it. So, but audience retention ratios for YouTube it's not great above 10 minutes really, 10-minute videos. So, yeah, I think it would benefit going on to those podcast formats that you use. You're gonna tell him which ones he should be using right now, aren't you, René? We're not telling which ones. You're gonna give him some René advice.
René advice. Well, I think if you want to make it a podcast, you should probably put it on iTunes, which is the most popular one. And I think a website called Stitcher is second. I think it's called Stitcher Radio or something like that. And those are the mediums to go with. Yeah. So if you need any more information on that, Boydy, I'll be happy to help you with that, of course. Just let me know. But very good job on it. I really enjoy listening to all the other content creators. It's really interesting.
It's nice to get an insight, and Boydy is the perfect person for doing it. He's a natural at it. If we was ever to get
because he's so centric in the community, right?
Oh, he's always in my stream. He's so supportive. Absolutely. Is that a person in the middle of the?
It's a tree.
I think it's just a tree. Yeah.
It's a ghillie.
It's a ghillie just stood still. Yeah, enthusiastic, and I haven't seen all of the interviews. I caught some of the Tote Wreck one, and I believe his next one is the Running Man. He's recorded that today, and I'm next apparently, and then you're after.
Yeah.
You know this?
I know this. Yeah.
I didn't want to be stealing his thunder in case he had not said anything.
Yeah, I know.
I joked about it on my stream that what he'd actually done is he was doing it in reverse order. So he was starting with the worst content creators and then ending up with the best, and that's why he started with Silo. But I then realised that he started with Vigilante Gamer, and the whole thing fell down like a pack of cards. But it was obviously a joke,
Yeah, exactly.
Not that the best content creators last, really. Of course, that bit was 100%. I meant that.
Nice. Well, he should stop then after he does the interview with me.
No, I
No.
think what he'd suggested is he was going to do some of the smaller YouTube content creators, which he's, as we've covered there. God, doing a big bit on Boydy here. Hope you're liking this, Boydy. This is like our payback for all the work you've done for everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cam Can't Run, Danny Boy.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Danny Boy is actually classed as such a smaller YouTuber now, but as
No,
probably
he's
isn't Cam
pretty
Can't
well
Run.
known
But
actually. He deserves more viewers though, definitely.
that's such a cliched thing to say, René.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes you gotta say things you mean.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the subs. I appreciate everything. That's another cliched thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm looking at Gorka. I'm looking
Yeah.
at Gorka. Wait, did you leave Altar? Are you still transmitting?
Yeah, yeah. Aren't you here anymore? Oh, I'm just hearing you through the radio. No. Okay, that was lousy joke.
Fucking cheese on toast that was, René. That was almost like your face reveal. Hey, we haven't covered that. René's face is out there on the tubes. He's there. We know what he looks like.
Yeah?
Got a big old smile on his face. What happened? I want to pick you up on this, right? What happened? Because you nearly went before you did your big smile. You just sort of had a little, like the lip went up a little bit, and your missus must have done something. Did she do something to make you smile?
No, I was just acting and I couldn't contain it anymore. I just had to laugh.
Yeah, I see. Right, you nearly corpsed on screen. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's I am. It actually went better than I expected. I did the face reveal because I had, over the course of the years, a lot of people asked me to, what do you look like? Can you send a picture or something? And I always said like, I'm not gonna do it now. I will do it when I have 10,000 subscribers or something. And in the end, I had it, and I just I did it as a surprise, and I didn't want to make it over dramatic and that kind of stuff. I just really enjoyed like doing it, and I think it got a better response than I expected. So that's always good. I was a little bit nervous as soon as I released it, obviously. Yeah.
I think it's fine. I mean, Toby said it. He watched it and then watched it again. It's just absolutely perfect. You all over. It was great. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with your face. That's always a concern. People are going to start saying, "Oh, look at you with your whatever," pick faults. But we've got reasonable communities. Not reasonable. We've got decent communities, but there are always idiots out there that can spoil things, and you're afraid of things like that going off on the YouTube comments. But yeah, it was well received. I thought the video was great.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the kind words. I'm right in the middle of Gorka now.
Yeah, me too. I'm looting the houses.
I'm not. I'm looking for the people.
Next, I want to talk about a little feature they added to the game, which maybe was a little bit invisible, but you and I already have some experience with it, which is the off-road ramps in the northwest of the map.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's wonderful, but I don't think what the vehicle we used was suitable.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't use the bus, which probably some people that may not be aware of. The ramp essentially is.
There are two ramps, aren't it? Right
Yeah,
next to each other.
one's a little bit shallower than the other, and
It's more like a broken bridge. You should see it like that.
yeah.
But it feels more like a ramp, to be honest.
But we went over it with the V3S that was damaged. Oh shit! Got a zombie on me. And the V3S just couldn't get the speed up to deal with it. So we ended up falling down the middle.
Yeah, we have a nice little clip with that, which we will also link in the description.
Talking of vehicles, I suppose we can cover this as well. The problem currently with vehicles, they're not cleaning up correctly. So they've brought a sort of, I won't even call it a fix. It's just a way for the player base to deal with it rather than them.
It's a workaround, literally.
Sorting it out. You can set fire to the vehicle to destroy it so that it resets on server.
Yeah, and you can only do it with the matchbox.
The effect is in for the 4x4, so someone put a little GIF on Reddit about it, and it got the top response was next gen gaming, because all that happens is it's like a few flames just go up, and they haven't spent more than, I don't know, they perhaps got the Office Junior to do it, or it's not very good, but its purpose is there for just what it does. So don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I haven't seen it yet, to be honest.
Haven't you? I set fire to one on my stream yesterday, and I wasn't
Wow.
streaming yesterday, so I didn't do it yesterday. Actually, it was the day before, and I'd set fire to a bus or a V3S, and it was a saloon car I initially set fire to, and it just changed it from being white to being off-white. So, but you couldn't access the vehicle anymore. So once the server restarted, that would get cleaned up, and then it would respawn back in one of the multiple spawn points. But I did it on a 4x4, and it had these little flames coming up, and pretty much the same outcome. The body shell changed slightly in color, and you couldn't access it.
Nice. I haven't seen it yet, so I will have to do it myself at some point. Only with broken cars, of course.
Interested to know if someone was in the car and you set fire to it, what would happen?
Nothing, I imagine. And now FD's favorite part, status report. Have you? It actually just, like right now, just released like a couple of hours ago. Did you manage to read into it a little bit?
Little bit, tiny bit. I opened the status report out, and I scrolled right the way down to the bottom where it does the community spotlight to see if I was involved in it, and I wasn't, so I shut it.
There's actually a cool video in there. I haven't watched it yet, but it's a zombie chase, I believe, if I remember correctly. But I put that on my watch later list. So, and some things that were, well, you must have seen, if you scroll all the way down, you must have seen the gestures that the GIFs that they posted.
Is that word I told you is not pronounced that way?
The gestures.
Gestures, that's it, yeah. I don't know, I presume that's a new player implementation that is coming in with a new player controller in 6.3, is it?
Well, I think so. Do you like the gestures? Or
yeah,
are you like?
I think that. There's one where you put one hand halfway across your arm and give it the. I don't know what that gesture's called. You know, where you.
It's like sort of maybe like a.
Telling
like
someone to fuck off, basically.
Yeah, to fuck off without the middle finger. Yeah,
and that's one. The other one is
pointing the finger at your head like you're crazy.
Okay. You're a nutter, like that one.
Yeah.
And is there not one like a beckoning one? Come this way, sort of like beckoning someone over. Come over here, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's
I think it's great because there's often situations where you're playing direct with someone on direct comms, and you just don't want to be using the voice because the enemy's within range of the direct talk. So to be able to use gestures is just, yeah, it's perfect. I like that.
I think it's awesome too. It's I'm just wondering because at the moment we're using the F keys, and I think we are out of keys, right? So how you wonder how it's gonna change because they can't keep this up at the moment.
Shift and F.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. Who knows?
But it's not like every key on the keyboard's bound, so they can put what they want, and ultimately you bind them whatever suits you.
I feel they're gonna change it though. I don't know to what, but I feel they're gonna change it.
It could be like on a little scroll menu.
Yeah.
So you hit a button F1, it opens up them all, and then you scroll down and middle mouse to actually do it. It's probably a little too clunky, but.
Well, I think they're actually going to get rid of the whole scroll menu in the next patch as well. So we'll have to see how that works out as well. It's going to change, DayZ, and I'm I don't know what I should think about it, but I have I guess we've said it multiple times before, I have faith in the developers.
I think you've got to have. I think you've just got to see what they've delivered so far. You take away the fact that it's taken the time it's taken, and the certain people are not accepting that development takes this amount of time, and the YouTube generation that wants everything here and now, the torrent generation, the people that just, I don't know, the young people of today, René. I don't count you
Yes.
within that bracket.
The youth.
You are still a young person of today, but
This is
I'm
you?
talking, yeah, it's me. I haven't found a leather sewing kit.
Okay.
I'm talking to real young'uns, the 16-year-old keyboard warriors. Not that every 16-year-old is a keyboard warrior,
We
because
are
that would
keyboard
be unfair.
warriors.
Because then there might be
Technically.
some 16-year-olds that are watching and think, well, listen to that old Mardy bastard having a go at me just because I'm 16. That's not what I mean.
Yeah. Talk your way out of that now.
Yeah, I think I did. Dig a hole.
Okay.
I didn't dig it any deeper. But yeah, what did you make of the status report? Obviously, you've digested it completely. You've got it on your little Excel
Yes.
spreadsheet, haven't you?
Well, no, not really. I did read it though. There's a little mind map in there which shows kind of the complete things that a survivor can do, and two of them were very interesting. And there's maybe more that I might have missed, but some that stood out to me, which were called, to be fair, called out on Reddit. I read in one of the comments on there. There was decaying bodies and carry a character, and I thought that was pretty neat. I think carry the character we could already do in a way in DayZ mod, but the decaying bodies, I think that's a pretty neat feature if they also put some sort of like timestamps in it. Like in DayZ mod, you would die and there would be like flies around you. And
Yeah,
a lot of
immediately.
people are hoping, immediately. A lot of people are hoping that will come back. So I can imagine that a fresh body won't have flies around it. But, after 10 minutes or so, or maybe after 15 minutes even, that they will have some, maybe flies around them. And maybe there's several stages in them, like a lot of things in DayZ. And DayZ does everything in 4, right? You have also pristine state, worn, damaged, badly damaged, ruined. Oh, it's 5 actually. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about making the world in which we're involved in and playing within that little bit more immersive, and not handing things to you via a scrollable inventory, like you were saying earlier, that's going to be done away with. It's all about looking at your surroundings or looking at your character and seeing how he's progressing. Yes, you've got energized and hydration status, but you don't have anything that tells you you've got no health bar. You've got no, it doesn't say, oh, if you get shot one more time in the arm, you're going to die because you have 2,000 blood and you'll get hit by a bullet and it will do 2,000 damage. Obviously, in the experimental, that's different.
Or
But I'm
punched
talking,
by a friend.
or punched by a friend. It's so that it's all about trying to transfer how the character is and how he's responding to your treatment of him or her,
Mm-hmm.
to give you a feel for how the game is. And I think that's decaying bodies is another step in the right direction, because you can look at a body and see what state of decay it's in. You can, further down the line, you'll be able to see the fact that the person's been shot in the head. That's obviously a tell as to how they've died. Or they could have part of their body missing, been mutilated by a zombie. All these sort of things that, they help you.
They help tell a story. I completely agree. It's going to be very interesting. And a lot of people are also talking about how tracking will work in DayZ. Like, how do you track players? Well, this is one of them, right? If you kind of understand that the body has been lying dead on the ground for 15 minutes, if you can tell that for some reason, then you will be able to find out, like, okay, if the body is 15 minutes here, you will actually be able to tell, like, okay, if he ran that direction, he'll be in this specific town. So you can, and he is maybe going to the next town, so I can already go there and maybe wait for the guy and see what he's up to, for example. Yeah. I have a question, like a final question to our listeners. because I think that will be interesting to like end with a question as well. I feel like at the moment it's harder to hide barrels in the game, because I've been trying to place them like in the trees and that kind of stuff, but I feel like they're all still visible. So I'm just asking you, so are you guys still placing your barrels in trees or in bushes, or or where's your base?
Yep,
That
map
kind of stuff.
coordinates
So
and server, please.
yes. Sorry, was that too transparent?
Yeah, not yeah. You have to. I know what you mean. I mean, I've got a barrel in my hand now because we're just talking about you at the saloon. Yeah, you are. I mean, this sort of tree here is my go-to tree, surely.
Which is
Perfect. You can't even see it, can you? Just looks like a barrel-shaped tree.
Exactly.
Okay, that didn't work, did it?
No, but that's exactly what I mean, right? It's not so. It's pretty difficult to.
Yeah, because when you put it in the tree, it's actually touching the branches, and it's almost like it's levitating. I'm just trying now as we talk.
Yeah, we're talking about a bush, by the way, not a tree.
Yeah, the trees. I think it's interesting. Let me try this other one over here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a progression I need to know more about for the base bandit as well, of course.
Yeah.
The base bandit's had to go on hold a little bit. Well, it just popped right out of that tree. Is this what you've been finding? Just popping out?
Yeah, well, I've been finding, I've literally been looking for trees that are like bunched together a little bit. So that worked for me.
I know. I suppose you don't want to give the answer to the question that you're asking, but...
So at the moment we're moving from Gorka towards Polana with a different goal than maybe finding the best guns in the game and that kind of stuff, because we are actually carrying a fertilizer in our hands and FT's carrying a green barrel. And we are trying to make like a cool vest. And we've just murdered some poor innocent cows, and we're gonna eat them. I mean, we're survivors, we have to survive.
Absolutely.
And moving into Polana, hoping for no trouble this time.
Yeah, we're not going in, like we often leave it right on the knife edge. People are refreshing the Altarcast page every day of the week trying to find out whether or not we've survived, but it's just not going to happen this time.
Well, who knows? Maybe there will be a lot of bandits in Polana today.
Could be.
And we're in a disadvantage because we're wearing, we're carrying garden lime in our hands.
Yeah, I can't shoot this barrel, no matter how hard I try.
That would be interesting.
Just chuck it at someone and get your gun out.
Yeah.
I could throw the barrel up in the air and then shoot it clay pigeon style.
Yeah, could do. But thank you for listening to episode 6 of Altarcast. I hope you guys liked it. Please leave a review on iTunes if you like the podcast. Leave a comment. Send us an email at dayzaltarcast@gmail.com or BarelyInfected@gmail.com. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.